And before we go any further, we do have one online guest, and his name is Sandeep. And if you don't mind just taking a few seconds to introduce yourself, it'd be greatly appreciated.
So, am I audible?
Hello.
Hello?
Hello.
Oh, am I audible to you?
Say that again, sir.
So my name is Sandeep.
Yes, sir.
My name is Sandeep. So I work as a postdoctoral fellow in University of South Alabama.
All right.
So one of my colleague, Caleb Stratton, he was one of the members to the Toastmaster. So he was suggested me to attend this Toastmaster for my good presentations in the future.
All right. All right, well, we're glad to have you tonight. And we'll go over our roles right quick. Our general evaluator for tonight will be David. And I did not hit the gavel.
Good evening, everyone. I am David, and I will be your general evaluator for this evening. So as general evaluator, I'll be giving an evaluation, an overall evaluation of how the meeting went. And also I'll call on my evaluation team, which will consist of a timer, grammarian, law counter, and they will go over their respective roles as well. Thank you, and that's my role for this evening.
Thank you, David. And for our all counter and for Marion for tonight, that will be Olivia.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Olivia, fellow Toastmasters and honored guest. I stand before you tonight to be your art counter and grammarian. And in that role, I will be listening for any misuse of the English language during the prepared speeches. If we haven't, we do have a prepared speech, as well as pocket speeches, also for the table topics portion, and for the speech evaluations. My other role is the all counter, and in that role, I will be listening for any listening for any filler words, am, so, knows, likes, ors, with those times when we should just take a pause, but we try to fill in that space as we transition from one thought to the next with a filler word. I will take a tally of all of those, and I will give it to the general evaluator at that time. Back to you, Toastmaster.
All right, thank you. Let me just get the theme and word of the day on the chat. Right quick. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, okay. And our table topics master for tonight will be David.
Good evening again, everyone. I will also be your table topics master. As table topics master, I will ask a question, and then anyone in the audience, any member or guest can volunteer to give the answer. And you'll have 1 to 2 minutes roughly to just give whatever your feedback is. And it's a fun way to practice speaking without having a forethought or preparation, just speaking on the fly, so to speak. So that's my role as table topics master.
Now that we have the roles established for tonight, at this time, I would like to introduce the first speaker for this evening, and she will be practicing her international contest speech. And the title of her speech is Try Again and Again and Again. Our first speaker for tonight will be Carrie.
But I start with the motion making a phone call. So as soon as I kind of pick the phone, that's the start. Okay? Got it? Okay. Could you introduce one more time? Introduce one more time. Okay.
And once again, our speaker for tonight will be Carrie.
Hello, Cindy. This is Carrie. Listen, I failed the comps. I studied hard, but it didn't work. Why am I crying? I'm talking with a friend of mine, Cindy, because I failed the comprehensive exam for a master's degree in sociology. I need to pass it to get the degree. Good evening, contestant chair, judges, and fellow Toastmasters. I'm sorry, I'm too emotional right now. Carrie, what, Cindy? Carrie, remember how many times you failed? When I was 22, I took the driver's license test for the first time in my life. At that time, I was an ESL, English as a second language student in Greenville, North Carolina. Taking a test in English is quite a challenge for international students. On a chilly day in January, 4 international friends, including me, went to the driver license office to take the written test. On the first day, one of us passed the test. Congratulations! On the second day, the remaining 3 of us went there. One of us passed the test. Congratulations! On the third day, the remaining 2 of us went there again. One of us passed the test. Congratulations! On the fourth day, the remaining 1 of me didn't go there. Contestant chair, judges, and a fellow Toastmaster, did you pass your permit test on your first try? Raise your hand. How did you do that? According to drivingtest.org, 65% of applicants pass it on their first attempt. I'm not one of the 65%. I feel shame, disappointed, and inferior. I lost my confidence, self-esteem, and motivation. When I was 25, I was an undergrad student in Hattiesburg, Mississippi. I made up my mind to try the driver's license test again. On a cloudy day in October, my roommate took me to the driver's license office. While I was filling out the application, she noticed 3 blanks on it saying score, first blank, second blank, third blank. She said, that means we cannot take the test more than 3 times? No, that means we usually pass it within 3 times. However, those blanks were not enough for me. I lost my confidence, self-esteem, and motivation. When I was 28, I was a graduate student in Mobile, Alabama. I made a decision to try the driver's license test again. On a sunny day in early February, my neighbor took me to the driver's license office. I wrote the application and turned it into the officer. She said, $25. What? $25? It was free in North Carolina and in Mississippi. $25. Unfortunately, I failed it. The neighbor said, Carrie, it is a difficult test. He tried to make me feel better, but I didn't feel shame, disappointed, or inferior. I was mad, because my $25 was taken. I lost my money for nothing. The next day, I took the test again. I submitted my answer sheet to the officer. This time, she reacted differently and unexpectedly. She checked my answer. Okay, what? Sure? Yes, I passed it and got my learner's permit. After practicing driving for a month, on March 3rd, I took the road test. I was nervous and confident. As soon as I finished driving, I saw the officer writing down 8 on the blank for my score. I passed it on the first try. I finally got my driver's license. It took 6 years to get this piece of plastic. Carrie, what's Cindy? Carrie, how many times did you fail your driver's license test? 8 times. 3 times in North Carolina, 4 times in Mississippi, and once in Alabama. How many times did you fail your comps? Once. What will you do? I'll try it again. I took the comps again. On the second time, I failed. I took it again. On the third try, I passed 2 of 3 subjects. I took it again. On the fourth try, I passed all 3. I got a master's degree. Oh, what an achievement! My strategy to accomplish my goal is to keep trying until I achieve it. No matter how many times I fail, I'll try again. In this approach, failure is not the end of your journey. It's just a waypoint toward your destination. That's why I'm standing here to try the speech contest this year again. Yes, I'm trying this again, and again, and again. Toastmaster.
All right. Thank you, Carrie. At this time, it is time for table topics. And our table topics master for tonight will be David.
Thank you, Carrie, for that wonderful speech. It takes a lot of courage to get up and give any speech, and especially in a speech contest setting. So it's very proud of you to do that for our club. Moving on to table topics, I'm going to ask a few random questions, and if anyone online or in the audience here at the library would like to answer, just let me know, and we'll have the floor to speak for 1 to 2 minutes or thereabouts. One thing I like to do is when I'm on Facebook, which I'm trying to minimize that because I have a social media addiction, it seems, but when I'm on Facebook, sometimes I'll see some really useful memes, some little sayings that are really thought-provoking and get me to thinking about myself. So I'm going to read a few of those and see if anybody would like to comment on how it may apply to them, to their own life. The first one is very simple. It's one I read yesterday. It says, don't believe everything you think. Don't believe everything you think. Does anybody can relate to that or like to say what that might mean to them? And if there's anybody online, you can raise your hand. Or anybody in the audience. Okay, Lisa's agreed.
Okay, so don't believe everything.
Don't believe everything you think.
Okay, don't believe everything you think. Fellow Toastmasters and honored guests, I am tasked to speak on don't believe everything I think. I would start as a little child where I was given wives' tales about certain things, and that was incorporated into my thinking patterns. And some of those things have caused me grief because I thought something that wasn't true, and I acted as if it was true, and then found out it wasn't true. But as adults, we're inundated with lots of information or misinformation, as you may call it, and sometimes those type of things, you will get flummoxed by. Don't believe everything you think, because all the information that you receive is not true, and you will get flummoxed by that. So that is my thought on don't believe everything you think, Mr. Topics Master.
Thank you, Maurice. And I can really relate to that question because even as an adult, my mind can play tricks on me sometimes, and I'll get to thinking just the obvious things like, oh, I'm not good enough, I can't do this, and I'll believe it. And just because that's a thought in my head doesn't mean it's true. It's what I need to learn. So I love that meme. I love your answer, Maurice. Thank you. So my next meme that someone may want to comment on is this, and I can really relate to this one as well. Because I tend to I'm a bit of a perfectionist, and I'm a civil engineer by trade. I always want to have all my ducks in a row, so to speak, to have all the bases covered before I do something. So I read this: if we wait until we're ready, we'll be waiting for the rest of our lives. If we wait until we're ready, we'll be waiting for the rest of our lives. Olivia?
Fellow Toastmasters and honored guests, the meme says, if we wait until we're ready, we will wait for the rest of our lives. And that reminds me, because I love memes, I love quotes, I love thoughts. So that reminds me of a quote that I read a long time ago, and I've seen it 3 or 4 times since then. And it says, you have to take the next step, even if it's off a cliff. So, and you see the picture of a person and they're standing, the next step they take is going to be off a cliff. So what do? Just not take the next step? Or do you just step off the cliff and see what happens? And that's the type of person that I am learning to be. Stop hesitating, stop waiting, stop second guessing yourself. We're all humans. If you make a mistake, you can learn from it. And accept that as a character flaw, or maybe just a part of your uniqueness. But if you wait until, oh, my hair's not done enough, or I haven't been practicing my speech enough, or maybe I haven't, oh, I don't know, maybe I need to go and cook this again, or I haven't, oh, my chicken just didn't turn out right. If you keep waiting for perfection and for things to be the way we think it should be, we indeed will be waiting forever. So my advice to anyone is take that leap, even if your next step is off the edge of the cliff.
Thank you, Olivia. I love that analogy of stepping off of a cliff, because sometimes moving forward can be a very scary thing. But often, once I've done something, I think, well, it wasn't so bad after all. I'm so glad I did that, no matter how scary it was. Stepping off a cliff is a good way to think of it. So another meme I came across says this, and I can relate to this one because I'll share with you, I'm a recovering alcoholic. And in recovery, I've seen a lot of people that didn't make it, that just weren't ready, or weren't, and no matter what I tried to do, I couldn't directly help them. And so this is it. You can't save someone who is not willing to participate in their own rescue. And that's something, as I think, a human nature that we all want to do, want to help people, but sometimes a person has to be willing to participate in their own rescue. So I'll read it one more time. You can't save someone who is not willing to participate in their own rescue. Do we have anybody who would like? Carrie has raised her hand. Give us your thoughts on that.
I really like that phrase because sometimes we all love to help people because probably, of course, simply we want to help, but also by helping people, really, we really feel good. It feel really happy somehow by helping people. That's why we want to help people. But just the way people really helping. The other person, the one who want to help, really need my help or not. It's just because my desire to make me feel happy, or I really want to help this person. I have to really think just to wait before you give your hands. That's what I was thinking, because sometimes help doesn't help, and if this person doesn't need my help, even I help, result is sometimes make me feel sad. And once I really help, I always thinking, no matter what happened, if this person is happy or not happy, or refuse me, or even cuss me, yell at me, I will still accept. Well, am I really ready to do that? And if I say yes to me, then I help. Sometimes people with helper end up with really angry because they're really, that sometimes happens because they simply want to help, but really want to help, or just they want to make themselves feel happy. So that's a kind of balance sometimes. That's how I feel. That's why before I help people, before I give them my hand, I always think first, is I really want to help her or him. And even she or he refused, I'm ready to accept it. Then I help. I still say yes to me, then I help. And it's a really good question. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Carrie. That was a great answer. I appreciate your participation. The next meme I came across, and I really, really love this one as well. The most important lesson I've learned so far is don't let anyone make you cruel. No matter how badly you want to give the world a taste of their own bitter medicine, it's never worth losing yourself. I'll read it one more time. Don't let anyone make you cruel. No matter how badly you want to give the world a taste of their own bitter medicine, it is never worth losing yourself. Does anyone have any thoughts? I think I see Donovan's hand up. So go ahead, Donovan.
Yes, thank you. The question that I was, well, technically the meme I got was technically, would I rather lose myself in of giving someone else's medicine to return in a real defeat? So the one thing that I feel, especially now, I think of the Russia and the Ukraine war. Like, yeah, I'm mad, but it's not always right to wish bad will or bad things for other people. But I also believe that people should be able to pay for their consequences. And one of the consequences of going into another country is sometimes death, and sometimes it's also a life sentence as well. So I would want to say that, yeah, sometimes I do think that the person who is in charge should pay for what they have done, but it's not always good to always go down that route, because if you do, then you'll just sort of like falling into a deep hole of depression or a deep hole of regret and all that stuff, and that just makes you crazy. It makes you unstable. And do you really want to live that type of life? Actually think about that. Like right now, think about how you would feel if you went into that direction. Does that make you feel good? Does that make you feel bad? By thinking about that, even though people do things, especially what Russia is doing to the Ukraine, we should still need to be able to swallow that pill sometimes. Sometimes you've got to be able to just take a swing of water and don't do anything. To be able to save yourself. That's my answer to this type of topic. Thank you.
Thank you, Donovan. Yeah, I agree. War is a terrible thing, and it's very easy to lose ourselves in just the anguish. So let's see.
It's 5 hours, so it's 35 minutes into the program.
Okay, I'll do one more. Our guest, Sandy, would you like to try a meme, or if you'd like to take a minute or 1 to 2 minutes to just tell us a little more about yourself, either way, would you like to participate? Or if not, or if you want to later at the very end, that's fine as well. So we've got, I think everybody's done, or here you go. Hey, Sandy.
Hi. So I want to participate in the Toastmasters. So I want to register for the classes.
Sure. You want me to read a meme to you and then discuss it a little bit? Or did you want to tell us a little bit about yourself? I'm sorry.
So my name is Sandeep. So I am from India. So I was a postdoctoral research associate in the University of South Alabama. So to improve my presentation skills, I would like to join in the Toastmasters.
Okay. Well, we're glad to have you with us this evening. And I have a friend of mine from work that's from Bangladesh. So that's great. It's very nice to meet you. And you're welcome to come online. We meet every Monday. We meet at the library in person, like once a month usually. But yes, you're very welcome and glad to have you with us.
Thank you.
I'll do just one more quick one, and I'll answer this one. I think everybody's calling on time. This says, the world is filled with people who will doubt you. You don't need to be one of them. And this I can very much relate to, because my whole life, I'm always second guessing everything I do. Like I shared before, I tend to be wanting to have all my ducks in a row. Everything's got to be perfect. And I always have self-doubt. Am I good enough to do this? Can I accomplish this? And whenever I work on it, it always turns out that I can, but it's something that I need to believe more deeply in my heart, that I am good enough, that I don't need to be one of the people in the world that doubt myself. And the world is full of people that will doubt us, but it takes courage, like Carrie did in giving her speech this evening. Once we get up and start participating, we'll find that that doubt will go away. Things work out, they always do. It's amazing. So thank you very much, and I guess that will conclude our table topics portion of the meeting. Greatly appreciate everyone participating. Back to you, Mr. Toastmaster.
All right. Thank you. It is now time for our next portion, or third portion of the meeting, and that is the general evaluation period. And our general evaluator for tonight, once again, is David.
Good evening, everyone. I am David, your general evaluator for this evening. And a quick question, do we want to start with everyone giving a comment on Carrie's speech? Would that be appropriate? We'll start with that. And Olivia, would you like to go first?
What a privilege it is to stand before you and say something about our cohort. Yes, so your speech was amazing as always, and I think maybe I'm a little biased, so I don't know if the audience will feel exactly like I do, because I just have so much love for you, and I've seen your speeches before, so before you even got to the podium, I was already kind of, oh, this is gonna be great. So, but for me, when you cried, I cried. I could feel every emotion. So your emotions are beautiful and right on point. I liked when you raised your hand and asked a question and you raised your hand. That was very engaging. And it was also something that everybody can relate to. Unless you're talking to someone under the age of 16, you were very on point with captivating your audience, because it was something that we all can relate to. All of us drive for the most part, so that was very good. When you first said a chilly day in January, I got cold. I was like, ooh, I can feel that, a chilly day in January. And then you said a cloudy day in October, and I could feel that. And I was saying, ooh, I bet she's gonna give me one more. I can tell it's coming, it's coming. And then you said a sunny day in February, and I could feel the warmth. So it is perfect, perfect, perfect how you are able to engage and cause the audience to feel what you feel. Beautiful. When you said, at the end, when you told the moral of the story, but you didn't say this is the moral of the story. And you don't have to. When you are able to just smoothly transition from one point to the next, it was just beautiful. From the very beginning, I knew that the story was going to be about passing and failing the test. And then you gave the whole scenario of how you went through with your driver's license, your permit, and then you went from that back to the story, back to the phone call, and then you told the moral of the story. That was beautiful. Your speech was outrageous. If I had two things I would say, the first one is when you say congratulations, you either need to speak louder or clap softer. Because the only reason why I knew what you were saying was because I'm used to, I just know, I feel like we're just, but for me, I would think, especially if you have a big audience, someone may not hear. Clap softer or speak louder. Congratulations! Speak a little louder. And then when you said, I was mad, I took my test for nothing. That was an opportunity for me to see you move around, show anger. Everything else was on point. So every time there was an emotion that needed to be expressed, you expressed it. But when you went to, I was mad, I took my test for nothing, you kind of stayed in the same spot. So take that opportunity to show some of that anger, because that many times, and then you lost your $25. Yeah, I was looking to see a little bit more expression there. And I just said, oh, that is it for my evaluation.
Thank you, Olivia. That was a very good evaluation. You should enter the evaluation contest. That's the second subtopic for
Okay.
spot on. Did you have anything to add, Maurice? Then Donovan for next.
Hello, Toastmasters. Besides what Olivia said, my points are that Carrie's speech flowed well from introduction to body to conclusion. And I do agree with Olivia, especially in the speech contest, those increased expressions may impress the judges a little more in the speech contest. But otherwise, and it was a great speech, a great demonstration of your life, of going through driver's license test time after time after time, again and again and again, from the first failure till the time that you actually passed. And that is my evaluation of Carrie's speech.
Did you want to give an evaluation on? Go ahead.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, everyone. I just want to go ahead and we'll say that overall that was a great speech. I also agree with Olivia and what Maurice said about the vocal variety and how that you always want to have a good sort of balance. You don't want to be too loud or too excited or too expressive. You want to actually have that sense of balance so the judges, so it won't be off-putting to the judges. Because sometimes that can also denote some points from your evaluation. So I thought that would be important to let you know that overall it was a great speech, and it's about the balancing, a nice balance of vocal variety, the hand gestures, like all that is great, but you want to like at least don't do too much, because if you do, then it will just wouldn't work out, and it wouldn't help with the flow of the speech, and it will also probably get what David and what everyone said, it could confuse the judges, and that's what I'm saying about. That's how it could denote a couple points off of your evaluation. That's my evaluation of your speech.
Thank you, Donovan. And I'll just add, I pretty much agree with what everyone else was saying. I think Olivia had a good point with the clapping, and at times it might have a little trouble with understanding. So but at the same time, I enjoy your enthusiasm. I think that's very important. So but like Donovan said, a good balance is important as well, to not overdo or underdo and just have that. But you're doing very well. I think it's a great idea to come and practice this evening, and also gave us a prepared speech for this evening, which was wonderful. So thank you, Carrie.
Thank you so much.
And we can move on to our evaluation team. And I think we could start with our timer if we can, which will be Donovan this evening.
Yes, thank you, David. First of all, I just want to say it's a great meeting. Everyone did good on time, especially Carrie. It's a good stopping point that I timed. So for the prepared speech, Carrie was 6 minutes and 41 seconds, which was a good stopping point. It wasn't too long, it wasn't too short. That's where you want the medium to be at. So now I'll transfer into the table topics. So Maurice's was 1 minute and 45 seconds. Olivia's table topic was 1 minute and 47 seconds. 1 minute and 27 seconds. Sorry. Carrie's table topic was 1 minute and 47 seconds. Mine, David has it. So David, would you be able to tell my time, please?
For your table topic, honestly, I didn't actually time it, but we'll just say it was right at 2 minutes, because I think it was right on the edge there.
All right, thank you. And then David's last, the last table topic for David's was 48 seconds. That's my time of evaluation. I still have to do the evaluation time, but I'll just send that out as a,
Okay,
as
that's-
a,
it was kind of informal anyway, as far as the evaluations go, but that's, thank you.
okay.
And next, I think we're ready for our law counter and Marion. We're both Olivia, so come up and give us that report, please, Olivia. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Good evening. Let's see, for Carrie's prepared speech, there was no grammatical errors, no filler words. Great job. Maurice, for your table topics, no grammatical errors, no filler words. I did not hear any for myself. I'm not quite sure if I had any. Someone else had one. Fine, that's good. For Carrie, for your table topics, there was no misuse of the English language and no filler words. You did stumble like 2 or 3 times. I think the energy was still so high from your speech that you were trying to calm down off of it. And I could tell that you was like, because it wasn't your normal stuff. I think it was just because you were so high up and you were trying to come down and you hadn't quite made it to a level playing field yet. And I was like, oh yeah, Carrie's still high. She's riding the high. So I loved it. It was great. But it's great to also see that raw, just to be whoever you are, just be yourself. And I could tell that you were still emotional from the speech. So very funny. Anyway, Donovan, you had no misuse of the English language and you had no filler words. You did repeat that twice, a couple of times, I think, as you were transitioning. You did a very good job, by the way, of your transition, because you took very necessary pauses versus saying filler words, but a couple of times you did repeat a word. I think that's as you were trying to transition, but very good. That was a very emotional, heartfelt, and thought-provoking speech, talking about Russia and the Ukraine war and how definitely something like that can harden your heart or make you change your emotions about a situation. And for myself, doing the evaluation of Carrie, I heard myself say one and one, That's it for me.
Thank you, Olivia. And I believe that concludes our evaluation team. So I'll give a general evaluation of the meeting. I think hybrid meetings are more challenging, but I want to thank Maurice for coming here and setting this up and having this wonderful room that Olivia was also involved in getting going with the library. So I think we're making progress with it. Overall, the whole meeting went very well. We had a good, wonderful speech from Carrie, and everyone participated. Everybody had a role to do, and which I think, like I like to say, is very important. And we all, I think, had fun with it, but at the same time, we learned something, and we're working on our speaking and communication skills. And that's really the point of Toastmasters, is that we have fun and make progress in working on ourselves. So I think we accomplished that, which is the most important thing. We're doing pretty good on time, and so overall, it was a great meeting. That's my role as general evaluator. So I think I'll turn the meeting back over to our Toastmaster Maurice.
So tonight we have no awards or educational overview. And at this time, I will just relinquish my role as Toastmaster and take on my role as the president. Do we have any roles for next week's meeting? Okay, speech or leave it. Okay. Oh, all right, thank you.
I have a meditation workshop I think I have to volunteer at
All right.
the USA Library.
Okay.
Right.
All right. Any other rules for, okay. Well, be sure to take on a roll for those who will attend next week's meeting. And once again, that meeting will be completely virtual. And then again, I'm working to find another place where we can do hybrid for more than 1 week a month on a regular basis, not having to fight any other group of people. Okay, at this time, it's 7:23, it's 7 minutes left. If there is nothing else, this meeting will be adjourned.